Hi guys, this video we're having a look at the Mezco Cinema Affair 3 3/4 inch Jason Voorhees figure from Friday the 13th, the final chapter, the fourth film in the series. Now, I personally am not a massive fan of these little smaller figures, to be honest. I literally, it came up on eBay and I thought, well, I'll put a bid in. If I win it, I win it. If I don't, I don't. Fair enough. And so annoyingly, I've won it. So now I'm going to have to get the Freddy and the Leatherface that comes with them. But I literally just bought it just purely on the Jason Voorhees side of things. To be honest, I didn't really want to get into these guys. But anyway, what we have is obviously the 3 3/4 inch figure. It includes an axe and a machete, removable mask and a display base. Comes in basically a smaller version of the packaging we had in the later series of the Cinema Affair figures. Whoops, this little clown packaging on there. Figure in there looks pretty cool. The way he's packaged, he's got a bit of a gimpy arm going on there, but can't complain too much. But the main reason I brought this, to be honest, is because it was perfectly mint, with no damage to the cardboard or anything, to be honest. So on the back we have a picture of the Jason figure, the Freddy figure, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I mean, I have got a Freddy figure coming, to be honest. I have already got one on eBay and it's been delivered. And from what I can tell, that is just an exact rip off the larger figure. But now looking at them, that is actually a picture of the larger figure. So, sorry, why I say that is because the figure inside, when you look at the figure inside compared to the figure in the bigger version, I'm just trying to see if they're exactly the same mould. Which, so I'm just looking at his shirt, just seeing the folds on his shirt and the creases on his shirt. I think, no, I can tell you now, it is a different mould, purely because there's a little tear in his shirt right at the bottom of the seam there, and it's not showing on this shirt here. So it is a new mould, which is quite interesting, because, you know, many companies just use the same mould but scale it up or scale it down for a different size of the same figure. But this is purely a new mould, so if it is a new mould, that to me looks like the larger figure. Same with that Freddy. So when that Freddy comes, obviously we'll have to make that decision as well. So that's obviously the figure in packaging, and like I said, don't say too much more about what it is. And they only ever made 3 of these. So the figure itself, like I said, I'm not too into these little figures, to be honest. I'm just going to move the camera down and all, just so we can get all that in. There we go. It's not too bad little figure. We've got the display base, blood splattered. I guess that's going to be the same with all the other 3 3/4 inch figures. It comes with his machete. Now for me, as far as I'm concerned, the machete's too big. It just looks a bit too cumbersome for the size. When you think of that handle, it's massive. If that was, you know, me or you holding that, that'd be massive. And only one side of the blade is, I don't know if it's coming through on there, it's got too much detail on it, to be honest. There's blood and there's like little splatters, and on this side there's just blood, no little splatters or anything, so it's not as detailed. So that's the machete. Also comes with an axe. Again, one side looks like it's been given a bit more love, this side, than that side. So not too much going on there, to be honest. I'm just grabbing the bigger version just to see if it was the same sort of mould again, but so that's the big version of the figure. This is our little version here, just so you can see in comparison. Quite a fair bit of articulation going on as well, which is surprising for such a little figure. You know, I'm old school. I'm going back to the days of the Star Wars figures where you just had straight legs, the hips and the arms and the head. But you know, wouldn't mind getting the old Star Wars figures out and seeing how Jason fares up against them, against Darth Vader. But anyway, so yeah, so we've got a fair bit of articulation going on here. There's a little bit of movement in the foot. He's got a bend in the knee, and he's got hip swivel there, socket and pin there. Nothing in the way. Oh, there is a little tiny bit in the waist, but nothing to, you know, any movement there whatsoever. Same joint as the hip in the shoulder, so up and down, back and forward, with a swivel in the elbow, rotation in the hands, and of course his head movement there, little ball joint in the head as well. So plenty of movement going on there. And it fits nicely onto the base. One of the funny things which I noticed is the peg is in the front of the foot as opposed to the heel. Normally you obviously get these bases where the peg goes into the heel, but for some reason they've opted to go a bit different there. Now, the bit in my opinion that lets this figure down, of course we have the larger version, and his face underneath is absolutely brilliant. Cannot fault it. Good paintwork, and of course there's the other version with the blood, but the axe went in. This is a real disappointment, I'm sorry. Are you ready to see Jason sunburnt and he's had ash blown in his eyes? What else going on there? His head looks like he's been out in the sun for far too long. I don't know if that's coming through very well or not. There's a very, very, very bright pink, to be honest, on his head. And his eyes have just been blacked in. I don't know whether it's just to give it more of an effect under the mask, but his eyes have just been blacked in as though, well, I don't know. He's been wearing his hockey mask, sitting behind a truck on his motorbike, sitting behind a truck churning out all the dust and smoke and everything. It looks terrible. There's just no real detail under there whatsoever. So that for me is a big disappointment. Mask's not too bad. Again, I don't think it's come through on camera very well, being so small. It's got the half the chevron on there. The little holes don't go all the way through the mask, to be honest. And for some reason, this top of this strap is just literally glued on as though it's not fixed properly. I don't know whether that's to help it fit on better or not. I don't know. But the mask goes on easy, on and off easy enough, to be honest. So I had a little bit of trouble getting the machete into his hand. To be honest, I'd force it in to start with, but otherwise it's good. But all in all, for a little scaled down version of a Jason figure, that's alright. 100 times better with the mask on, to be honest. And like I say, you can get him in lots of little poses. Maybe not as much as if you're going for the little version of Jason. If you went for the what they called Revoltech. So that's a littler version, but again, it's still, the Revoltech version is still quite a bit bigger. So we'll obviously have a look at this guy at some other point. But as for the Mezco Cinema Affair 3 3/4 inch Jason, not a bad little figure, to be honest. Quite impressed with it. Just having a look. No, so I was just having a little look on the one in packet, and the strap on that mask is a bit of a better fit, to be honest. So I'm not going to, I'm not going to moan about that, because that's obviously just a quality control thing. So yeah, so there we go, guys. That's a look at the Mezco Cinema Affair 3 3/4 inch Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Obviously, thanks for watching. Take care, guys. Please comment, please subscribe, and I've got plenty more videos to come. All the best. Take care. Bye bye.